Now it's time for panel discussion, and I would like to request Mr. Bijon Islam, CU, Light Castle, to the stage. And I would also like to request you to kindly ask all the panelists to be in the stage.
Thank you, Shimapa, for that. Very excited to get the main event of the afternoon started. I would like to welcome the panelists. I'll call up your name. I'll speak the bio, but please come in and take your seat. The seats are already marked, so you know where to sit. So I'm going to first invite Dr. F.H. Ansari. So Dr. F.H. Ansari is the Managing Director and CEO of ACI Motors, ACI AgroLink, Premia Flex Plastics, and of course, ACI Agri Business. Please, thank you, sir. Welcome to the stage. Now I have the opportunity to invite Mr. Ataus Sopan Malik, who is the Managing Director of Air Malik Seeds, which is the leading supplier of high-quality vegetable and produce seeds in Bangladesh in 1969. Thank you, sir. Please have a seat. Next, I'd like to invite Mr. Mizanur Rahman, who is the CEO of Metal Private Limited, which is a leading agricultural machinery and equipment company, and he directs the company's operations and growth. Thank you, sir. Next, I'm going to invite Dr. Ziakun Shi. I'm hopeful that I'm pronounced it rightly. Dr. Ziakun Shi is the FAO representative in Bangladesh, leading planning and delivery of programs and co-chairing the local consultative group on agricultural, food security, and rural development. And lastly, I'm going to invite Mohammad Shohidul Islam, who is the Director of Corporate Affairs and Sustainability at Syngenta, Bangladesh. He has 18 years of experience in government relations, regulatory affairs, corporate sustainability, and of course, leads the effort to drive sustainable growth in agricultural sector. Very excited. I'm going to take my seat now as well. I think this is my mic, right? All right. Always a pleasure to host all of you. I'm just going to move this so I can see everyone's faces while I do this. I think everyone is after lunch. We all of us feel a bit sleepy, but I hope we should be all be awake and energized for this very important conversation, right? Maybe I start with Dr. Ansari because he's sitting closest to me. It's just easier to get it started. Dr. Ansari, and I think since back from I by the way started my career in SCI, so I met Dr. Ansari long back, almost 12 years back. And I've always seen you. Bangladesh's agricultural sector is transforming. Like we have seen a lot of growth, whether it's agricultural productivity, it employs, I think, 40% of the total workforce, but it also goes through a lot of challenges, like whether it's climate change, I think young population is not being engaged, there is post-harvest losses and everything. So how have you seen the challenges that we're facing? How do you see the way forward out of these development problems, and what has been your experience with ACI, especially in dealing with the challenges that smallholder farmers face on these problems? Sir, over to you.
Indicated actually what are the transformation happening in Bangladesh agriculture. The first presentation actually on banana. I had seen similar kind of technology in Calcutta about 8 years back, and it was a very successful project, and they are utilizing full capacity, and basically the entrepreneur was a very young gentleman. And then the second presentation, what it was indicated, very broad-based, and it has shown a lot of opportunity in agriculture, and there are possibilities to engage youth in this country. So when we talk about the climate change situation in Bangladesh, the situation is, I think, known to everybody. The climate change is happening everywhere in the world, but the Bangladesh situation is a little bit different. It is very frequent, very turbulent, and also it is devastating. And sometimes floods, sometimes soil intrusion, sometimes storm, and this thing happening. But fortunately, we learn how to handle this kind of situation. First of all, the farmers have adapted very nicely. Second of all, our scientists, our private sector, organized in such a way, especially the seed companies, they brought a lot of climate adaptive seed, which are productive, and also can sustain even underwater until 15, 20 days. So all this kind of adaptation helps our farmers or young entrepreneur to protect their investment and come out with a high productive output. That is very important part of this seed. And then what we talk about the cultural practices, though it was indicated the presentation that the penetration of farm mechanization in this country is not that much, but I'm giving one example. Our situation is much better than India even. Cultivation 95% penetration, irrigation 90% penetration. I think harvesting is now 30% penetration. Recently, sowing, I think is about 2.5–3% penetration, but it's growing very fast. Only in rice crop. And there are also development in wheat, and also there are development in corn. But where is the involvement of the youth in this country? Practically what happened now, most of the tractor owner or the power tiller owners are young people, young farmers from the village. What they're doing, they're selling their services to the small farmer. Because our farmer cannot afford to buy such a big tractor or power tiller or combine harvester because they got very small piece of land. So they are buying services, and these services are economically so viable, so profitable for them, so they're doing a wonderful job. So it has engaged large numbers of young people in this country, and this is the situation now. And what about other input and technology? There are about 200,000 retailers and the dealers across the country for seed, for fertilizer, for agriculture, machineries, for the animal health solution, feed, dual chick, I think dairy products and many things. So these are also the young people who are engaged in this kind of sectors, and gradually they are coming to engage in this sector because the job scarcity in this country very big. So most of the people, what they're doing after completion of university degree, they're going to the village and starting very small businesses, and private sectors are supporting them. How the private sectors are supporting them? Most of the cases, what happened? Private sector, the supply seed, fertilizer, agriculture machineries, or livestock inputs through credit to the distributor, and the distributor supplies to the retailer, to the farmer, or khamaris. These khamaris generally harvest and they return the money. So this is basically informal credit system already established in the village, and that is working very effectively. And then if you look at the post-harvest, practically we are very poor in post-harvest, and there are a lot of losses. Yeah, I think in the first presentation you have seen that the banana loss up to 40% is a quite big loss when after harvest. So I think this sector require a lot of changes, transformation, and I think the model established with combine harvester or the tractor, similar model can be established through PPP. Like government can set up cold house, cold chain, or cold van, and then they give it to the private companies, young entrepreneurs, to run it and provide the services to the entrepreneur. This can work I think until this sector develop, and then when it will be really developed market, then the big private companies will come to invest in this kind of sector, and they can give similar kind of services to the small entrepreneur, and they can take it and they can provide services to the farmers also. Now, processing. You'll be surprised to know the most of the processed food in this country, you can see in the store, hanging in the store, chanachur, mudi, whatever it is. Most of the cases, these are all produced from the imported material, either wheat or edible oil or sugar. So we have opportunity to produce, all kind of, processed food from the rice also, because if you look China, Vietnam, Thailand, other part of the world, mostly they use rice-based, snacks. I think we can do the same things, probably not in the form of process and packet. Probably we have a lot of young entrepreneurs who are sitting in front of the school, factories. They're sitting in front of the Hat Bazaar and all the places. They can improve their hygiene situation through getting training. And if they get the training, they can also present the product in a hygienic way so that they can attract a lot of customers. And probably then we can add value to our local processed grain like rice. And then what will happen ultimately, there will be employment opportunity of 3–4 million young people in this country. And then we can remove a lot of input from our basket. So this, and then finally, I say that in the value chain, this is a retail chain. Only 2% of the retail formal market is, I think, in this country is retail, and balance is informal. And through this formal retail chain, they can establish backward linkage, and through the backward linkage, you can engage large number of young people to produce vegetable, fish, lot of things, and they can sell it to the retail shops also. So these are the way I can see there are possibilities of transformation and also employment generation in this country.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Ansari. I think we captured a lot of breadth, I think, starting from how we can use combine harvesters, more cold infrastructures and everything. And then also you touched upon the front end, which is consumer retail. I think ACA is a very interesting company because they have inputs, mechanization, consumer foods, and also retail distribution through Shopno as well. I'll come back to you, Dr. Ansari, with the second round of questions, but for now, I'm going to move to Mr. Ataus Shopon Malik. So just mixing it up a bit so that we reach out from that particular end. I know that Air Malik and seeds has been operating since 1969. I think access to quality inputs, seeds has been a big problem for farmers. So for you, as one of the management of your company, what are the biggest challenges that you see that impedes farmers from accessing both best farming practices and quality inputs? And how as a company you plan to solve them or are solving it right now?
Thank you. Actually, as you said, we are working for last 56 years. We are supplying seeds in Bangladesh. Our main challenges was before the supply chain. We are supplying through our distributors and dealers. And sometimes, that what really farmers want, they were not getting the seeds properly. And another thing is that when you are supplying quality seeds, or this price is a bit high, So even our dealers and distributors, they were not really, they go for the higher profits, Sometimes they don't keep the stocks as well. But we are sorting these things out, and what we have done that we have introduced our YouTube channels, then we have introduced our Instagram and all these things, and so we are getting a very good response from there as well, So what is happening that farmers are coming and they're asking for exactly that seeds, This is one thing, and we are also introduced our marketing people as well. They are going to the growing areas. They are giving the, that all kinds of informations and where they will be getting the seeds, So it is also help us to reach to the farmers as well. Now we are also creating some database, so that we are communicating with the farmers with that their numbers and phone numbers, and we are sending some SMSs as well, So if you consider these kinds of new innovations and new tech, like a digital platform is also helping us, to go very close to our farmers. You understand? Yeah. And I think that challenges will be also there. There are lots of that they're copying our packets or our seeds, and they are also in the market actually. We are our seeds are copied, they are lots of seeds has been copied, and it is very difficult to control, because we don't have that much of access, and to even the government, involvement is not much there. There is no really big, what is that called? We cannot control those things, You understand where they are selling our copied products, And farmers are also getting cheated. This is our really, really big challenges, that how we'll be able to control that thing. But I believe that digital platform has taken us to a next level, that about our products, our qualities, and the cultural practices, and even we have introduced our because we have some researchers in our R&D stations, and if farmers are getting any problem, any things, they are directly communicating with our team, and they are getting solutions from there as well. And also, The best part was that our especially YouTube channels, it has given us, take us to our next level, you know. That's the things I can say.
No, thank you, Ados. I think this is very, very interesting that you have actually taken a brand which was very distributor-led business model, and you have converted into kind of like a direct-to-consumer brand, right? Reaching out to the farmers directly, and I think digital has helped you a lot. Definitely in Bangladesh, we have to work on IP protection, which has not been the best. And I do believe, that will improve hopefully in the future. But, this is very, very, very interesting to see. And thank you for sharing that, farmers are also digital. They also consume a lot of digital content. I think that makes it easier to reach out to them and also educate them on the best practices as well. I'm going to move to Shoitul Bhai next because, he's just beside you. Shoitul Bhai, I think Syngenta has pioneered a lot of work, especially in access to inputs with farmers, right? And I know that Syngenta also works a lot in smallholder farmer development, whether it's through Farmer Center, Farmer School, a lot of initiatives. What do you think is still one of the biggest challenges that smallholder farmers face in tapping into more commercial value chains? And how would you solve them, or how are you trying to solve them?
Yes, thank you very much. At first, I'd like to thank for the organizer first for this arranging the brilliant sessions. At the same time, thanks to the senior director Care for his thought-provoking presentations, which also covered lots of the things that I myself enrich. Yes, coming to the questions regarding the smallholder farmers. Every year that we are talking about sustainability, but while talking about sustainability in agriculture, a bit complex. As you know that the farmer at the center for everything that we do. If anything missing in the farmer tools, the whole system will be jeopardized. And in this context, we Syngenta, along with the government and the private sector, are working together and giving the maximum comfort to the farmer for producing more yield for feeding the growing nations. And we Syngenta, coming to again the smallholder farmers, 70% of the world populations are dependent on the smallholder farmers. But these smallholder farmers are facing the unprecedented challenge today. They're not only for the producing the crop, they are all the decision makers. They're navigating the climate change, sustainability. And considering the importance of the smallholder farmers, we Syngenta has developed one Centrigo Center, the total ecosystems of the farmer. That means to ensure the food security and the value chain partner. What does it mean, the Centrigo, for the smallholder farmers? It supports in every steps of the smallholder farmers, from crop protections to harvesting, from backward linkage to forward linkage, from access to finance, crop insurance that we have discussed already, farmer financing, and the lots of training and development. And one of the biggest things that we are offering to connecting the dot to the value chain partners. At this moment that we have working with PepsiCo, Nourish, Bombay Sweets, Magna Group, so that the farmers are getting the shoe shot for their levels. And at present that we have established 13 Centrigo centers that we have more plan on in 2026. At around 8,000 farmers are connected in this agro value chain. This is all about regarding the Centrigo. If I coming to your next questions regarding the farmer schools, one of the sustainability initiative in connections to sustainable development goal number 2 is the hunger. And the first farmer field school established by the FAO back to 1997 and launched in Indonesia so far, and later it has spread across the country, across the world, including Bangladesh. But the farm school that we have developed in the northern side of the country is totally different, because the farmer school in physical infrastructure in collaborations with the local government. That means the last miles of the government in Union Parishad. And we are trying to develop the total ecosystems of the farmer. Why it is? Because the farmer not only produces the crop, he or she involved with the livestock, fisheries, handicaps, and others. So we are trying to develop the total ecosystem of the farmers. We are not providing the training. The training are provided by all the scientists, all research organizations. We are just facilitating. At present, in just 2 years back, we have developed these centers. Now it is that we are trying to scale up more. I think if it is properly set up in the place, then it will be helpful for our food security as well. This is all about from my side at this moment. Thank you very much.
No, thank you, Shadul Bhai. And thank you for sharing that. I'm very glad that we have moved on to talk from digital to something called phygital. We have digital solutions, but also physical centers, which kind of acts like one-stop centers, right? And I also like that you are also working with more forward market actors, like Bombay Sweets, where you are kind of also helping bridge that commercial value chain gap. No, thank you for sharing that. Mizan Bhai, I'm going to move to you next, and I'm going to tap onto mechanization, which is one topic I think that's close to all of our hearts when we talk about farming, because as farming becomes more modernized, mechanization has to come in and has to come at an affordable price to the farmers. So in your opinion, what is the biggest challenges that you see in mechanization of farmers in Bangladesh, and how as a company from Metals perspective you are solving them?
Thank you very much. First of all, thank you Care Bangladesh for organizing such a beautiful event today and tomorrow. And I very much thankful to Dr. F.S. Ansari sir. Once upon, I was working with Ansari sir. So
we both have that in common.
I was working with Ansari sir. So most of points sir noted. So, okay. So let me highlight some of bullet points. As I am involved in farm mechanization since mid of 19th centuries. Okay. So basically in our country, farm mechanization with tractor and rotavator started beginning of 19th century, and it was quite challenged because in that time about 85 to 90% lands were cultivated by bullocks and buffalo, and then only 5 to 10% lands were cultivated by power tiller. So it was a big challenge. And beside this, finance, because machinery's price was high, and till today it is high. So, and that time the private banks as well, some of government banks did not give loan directly to farmers, and even though till today, scheduled banks or government banks, they are not giving loan directly to the farmers. So, however, we bravely started easy installment to the customers, and that time we had lot of hard work, like we did exhibition, demonstration, free cultivation to the customers, and easy installment for the customers, and they slowly they adopted the technology. And later, when metal started fast, and later ACI is a big corporate house headed by Ansari sir started, then we got some energy, and some of players like K.S. Abedin, SQ, and others, some of players, they also join in farm mechanization. So what result we got in that time until today also? Sir already mentioned that till today, farm mechanization, I'm saying about land preparation. Land preparation till today, is completed by only tractor and power tiller. So our father, so they had cultivation with buffalo and bullocks. So now our children, so if they see buffalo and cows, so they have to go to the museum. So that also it is our achievement, you can say. Okay. So what benefit our marginal farmer and LSP? LSP means local service provider. As Ansari sir said that the marginal farmer, sometimes they have no effort to buy a tractor, machineries, because it is about BDT 15 lakh to 16 lakhs and more taka. So it may not be affordable for them. So some of middlemen or some big farmer, they purchased, till today they are purchasing, and they think that it's their business because, and marginal farmer also benefited because now they cultivated their 1 bigha land. 1 bigha means 33 decimal at the rate of only 300, 400 taka, where it was earlier 1200 to 1300 taka. So marginal farmers are benefited, as well as the LSP, local service provider, or big customer who are purchasing tractors, machineries from us. So they are also benefited. Per day, after everything all cost, they are earning 6,000 to 7,000 taka. So that revolution we completed, and sir correctly said that now about 98%, 97-98% of land preparation being completed, and government statistics is also same. So this is one, and later we introduced the combine harvester and rice transplanter. Sir said yes, and today about 70 to 80% combine harvester mechanization is here, but is a long road. There is a huge gap, about 72 to 80%. So last 2020 to 2024, for 4.5 years, there was subsidy from Department of Agriculture Extension, and farmers or buyers, they enjoyed. And but suddenly the subsidy on combine harvester is stopped last season, June 2024, and we Metal, ACI, Abidin, and others players, other companies. So we imported a big quantity of combine harvesters, but suddenly the subsidy is stopped. So then we are, financially we are sir knows very well. So we are in big trouble in terms of financial matter, because banks are every day they are charging money, they are counting interest from us, and subsidy they stops. Again, the price of the combine harvester machine is about 32 lakhs to 47 lakhs. So it is beyond the affordability of the customers. So regarding the subsidy, SAR, we Metal, and all of companies, even though some of development partners, we sat together and we appeal to government again, because I'm saying one data that the traditionally combine harvester, traditional through combine harvester machine, through manually harvesting, the grain losses is about 12 to 14%. Manually harvesting, okay, but by combine harvester, the loss is about 2 to 3%. So there we can gain the grain losses. So it is there, and the time by one combine harvester, about 7 to 8 acre of field we can harvest per day, but manually it is not, and manually about 12,000 to 14,000 taka to be required for the manually harvesting. But by the machine, only 4,000 to 5,000 taka, 6,000 taka is required. So the cost of production is becoming low through combine harvester. And third one is rice transplanting. Now we are trying, Metal, ACI, and all companies are trying to position rice transplanter to the farmers level, and it is also technical matter. Today morning I have discussed with CARE, one person of CARE, that it is a little bit technical, because the seedlings to be grown up within a tray. So normally our farmers they grow the seedling in the plot, and they uprooting the seedling and transplanting the main field. It is the traditional method. So by the transplanting machine, the seedling should be in the tray. So that is the main challenge. So I request to CARE that if we can empower especially women especially women, in this transplantation. So I think so it could be better for the future as well. Again, in the transplanting machine, subsidy is off. So therefore, we are, little bit we are behind, and this is one. Second one, I share you that from the beginning to till date, we are financing. We are private sector. We can engage to products. We can engage to service, right? Parts backup. But again, we are engaged in finance to the grassroots level. The banks, their finances to company. They are not finances to Rohimuddin, Korimuddin to the villages. That is, but in the neighbor country, in India, in Thailand, in so other countries, they are directly, their scheduled bank, they are directly, giving loan to the customers. But here, no. Only this is one. Second one, again, we have to sell to the customers. So customers are not paying the installment EMI duly to us, but banks they were charging every month from us. And bank today, I'm sharing you, it is also our big challenge. Today, bank are charging 14% interest, 15% interest. Again, 1 month due or 1.5 month due, answer is, sir, you know very well, sir, 2% penal interest. So normally 15% plus 2% penal interest, so 17% interest they are charging to us. So it of course, we are private sector, we are business people, so it is going to the customer end. It is very difficult. The Bangladesh Bank, Bangladesh Bank has another point I'm noting, that Bangladesh Bank has on circular only 2.6%, only 2.6% as per Bangladesh law, the scheduled bank can give loan for agriculture and machinery of their total portfolio disbursement. Okay. So out of 2.6% loan, there is, I think so, about 0% loan for agri machinery. So we request, we several times we did meeting with government agencies that in that case, if 5% loan to give disbursement for the agriculture sector, and out of 5%, if 1.5 to 2% loan will be specially for agri mechanization, especially for tractor, harvester and power tiller, it could be better and it could be good for affordable for the customer and end user. This is one. Another point, again, sir, you may know very well, sir, answer, sir. Again, this fiscal year, government imposed for duty, VAT and ATI, AIT for the tractors, 2.5% more. Earlier it was 11%, and now from July, from 1st July, government imposed 13.5%. So we business people, we are business platform. So 2.5% means BDT about 35 to 40,000 taka again. It will be more on tractor price like this. The second one, the spare parts of agricultural tractors and machineries. Earlier, the duty VAT, AT, was 35%, and this fiscal year, government imposed 55.5%. So how is possible? So that is why I think so. Private sector, development partners, government. So we have to take those issues positively, and then we can formulate one thing so that it could be affordable. It could be affordable for the end user, for the farmer, like this. Thank you.
No, thank you, Mizan Bhai, for giving that detailed explanation of the points. And I think it was very interesting that as a company, you are obviously giving farmers a service, which is a machinery, which again, people are buying and then using it to pay forward services to smaller farmers. But you are also technically working as a financing company as well, because you have to take leverage on your balance sheet and then give it back forward to farmers, because financing companies do not directly do that. And as you say that, taxes have increased, subsidies have gone, and that have made the end product in a market more expensive,
Correct.
where the original farmers doesn't have the affordability to begin with, right? I think this is exactly the type of problems possibly the CARE advisory group and private sector can work together and hopefully do the right kind of advocacy to solve. That brings me to Dr. Jiakun Shi. I'll move to you. You've heard from all our panelists, right? And definitely there are areas where the private and development sector can work together. What do you think are the conditions that would allow to have an effective partnership between private development and the government to solve these problems in the agricultural sector that we have all heard of? Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. And the CARE, this is really a very beautiful and timely event, and thank you. This is really a very excellent questions and to guiding this very important discussion. And let me also thank you again to the CARE and the Night Castle partners and Development for convening such a timely and beautiful event. Bangladesh now is standing at a very crucial juncture and at the agriculture's journey. The country has achieved remarkable progress in food security over the past decades. And yet the future demands transformations that goes beyond the production. So we must build a system that is not only productive, but also climate resilience, inclusive, and market-driven. And the SDG 17 is the partnership. Our FAO is the leading agency in this area, so we need to build a partnership. And just now, all the panelists are our development partners, including our ACI and is our implementing partners. So in the future, we will have more cooperation opportunities. And this year also is the 80th anniversary of founding of the FAO, and also the UN. It's our 18th birthday of FAO. And we should thank all the implementing partners. And thanks for the very successful partnerships along the 8 years journey. And here in Bangladesh, I want to touch briefly on 4 priorities. First is digitizing value chains. That's very relevant to all our agricultural projects. The digital tools are no longer optional. They are very essential. From the e-traceability systems that ensure food safety to mobile platforms that link farmers directly with markets, digitalization, and can reduce the inefficiency and empower smallholders. And we have a lot of projects to empower the production groups, cooperatives, the access and the farmer group, field school, farmer field schools, and so on. And at the FAO, we are working with government and the research institute to pilot ICT-enabled platforms that bring the transparency and the trust into our system. And across the globe, digital innovations are reshaping the farmers' access knowledge, inputs, and markets. In Bangladesh too, we are seeing the rise of agri-tech solutions, from mobile-based advisory services to IoT the Internet of Things, enable the smart irrigation and the digital traceability platforms, enhance the transparency and boost the efficiency in supply chains. But unlocking this potential requires the active engagement of the stakeholders to scale the solutions, ensure interoperabilities, and design the platforms that are truly farmer-centric. That's one point. The second is integrating the smallholders, because smallholder farmers is the backbone of our agriculture. And the smallholders farm form the backbone of Bangladesh's agriculture. And yet they often face barriers to finance. And just now our other colleagues mentioned that these very important issues. They always face the barriers to finance, inputs, and a fair market. Strengthening farmer organizations, promoting contract farming, and ensuring women and youth participation are key to making value chain more inclusive. At FAO, we strongly believe in investing in the capacity building and trust building and the policies that level the playing field for these smallholder farmers. Now, our ongoing support for farmer field schools is also supporting them. The third point I want to highlight is the invest in infrastructure. And just now previous these panel discussions, the two presentations are quite informative. And the bananas, the post-production loss is 20 to 30. And 2 years ago, I was here attending that launching ceremony of FAO's One Country, One Priority Product Initiative. We call it OCOP initiative. The Bangladesh recommended that the priority product is Qatar, jackfruit. That I was very surprised to know that the post-harvest loss and the damage is 35 to 45% of our jackfruit in our OCOP. So that's why we choose that as the OCOP initiative product in our Bangladesh. Bangladesh is on the front now. So one cannot ignore the persistent gaps in agricultural infrastructure. The storage facilities, cold chains, logistics, and processing plants remain insufficient in many parts of the country. These gaps not only raise post-harvest losses, but also discourage the private investment. And here, innovative financing models, such as the blended finance and public-private partnerships, we call the PPP, the mechanisms, can play a critical role in de-risking investment. So FAO is already working with the Ministry of Agriculture and the partners to design investment plans that address these systemic gaps. And besides the OCOP product, the jackfruit, and now we are also developing a project regarding the mangoes. So we included mango also in our OCOP initiative. All these projects and initiatives remind us the investing in infrastructure is the key point. Finally, building the climate resilience. And Bangladesh is on the front line for climate change. And yesterday, as a volunteer in this area reminded me about the climate change refugees. So I checked the data on the internet. It's quite surprising. And Bangladesh really is on the front line for climate change. We must embed the resilience into every stage of the value chain. And climate smart agriculture, smart irrigation systems, and geological practices are central to ensuring that productivity and sustainability go hand in hand. And FAO's Climate Action Plan 2022 to 2025 places agri-food systems at the heart of adaptation and no-emission development. So I highlight these 4 points. In conclusion, the transformation of agriculture in Bangladesh cannot be achieved by one actor alone. And it requires collective effort. So from the government, private sector, civil society, and all the development partners, FAO remains committed to working with all of you to ensure the agriculture here is not only more productive and competitive, but also inclusive, the climate resilient, and sustainable. So the partnership building is a very key and critical factor in this transformation. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Jekonshi. I think that was very, very well articulated. I think you touched again the whole universe of different partnership verticals that we can work on, right? Including whether it's technology, whether it's climate change, whether in how the government, the development sector, and the private sector should work. I know that I'm at time, but I'm going to move to kind of like a rapid question fire round for my second round. So I'm going to go quickly around the room and ask you questions, and just, in a couple of minutes, just give your thoughts and maybe closing thoughts on this. I'll start with Dr. Ansari, coming back to you. I want to take this one particular piece that you mentioned, that structured market is still very small, 2 to 4%, right? And that also possibly impedes the idea, which also Dr. Jekonshi mentioned, that contract farming and getting everything structured. Like, can technology solve these problems? And if yes, how development and private sector can work together to build technology solution that allows us to have more structured forward market for the smallholder farmers? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Dr. Shi very clearly mentioned that I think artificial intelligence or digital intervention is the priority in Bangladesh, no doubt. But there are challenges also in it. We are working last 10 years, over 10 years. We started with SNV. We tried to imaging crops from the field and use satellite image from Netherlands. And the satellite was basically taking image from 30 meters above. But most of the cases, what happened, it was very difficult to analyze the real fact. And then again, we have started with tractor, sensor we have added, and then we try to take the soil structure through the sensor. And then also we are using GPS in a combine harvester, and through a harvesting system, even the combine harvester can indicate where the crop is good, where the crop was bad within the field, even the neighboring field. And then we are using JAXA satellite image and all these things. So we are putting a lot of efforts to correct our intervention, to know about what are the situation, and especially targeting to the soil, because when somebody invents some kind of crops, then immediately he thought about the ecology, and mostly ecology other than soil are very much well set, but when there are variance in the soil, the yields are also variance. So it is now we are trying very hard to correct our intervention to get the soil information. I hope that through this intervention we'll be able to get there. That's very important. Second thing is that basically the advisory services. I'm talking in line with the food value chain, and finally I'll tell you in short about the forward linkage. And when you talk about this technology and inputs, our farmer, only 5% of the farmers are very much well off. They have large quantities of land and all this thing, and they take risk and they try at least the new technology in a small surface, and then gradually they expand, and then the other farmer who are relatively small, they see it, the success, and then they follow it. The problem is that the process starts and then it really 4 or 5 years lost, and by this time this technology get mandate. So this is the general situation. Now with this situation, I try to indicate farmers only do it when they see it, the result. Then when you communicate with the digital connectivity, then it is very difficult to convince the farmers straightforward take this technology. That is a big challenge that we are facing every day, more or less. It doesn't mean that nobody is doing it. Many farmers are doing it, but most of the farmers don't like to take immediately. They just go through it and then leave it like that. Then I think if you look at the forward linkage, that is very interesting, and also post-harvest. Nowadays we can see a lot of success. Even the small farmers, or the fishermen, or the dairy farmers, or the poultry farmers, from their house they can call directly to the buyer, and then they can connect and they can sell their goods. There are a lot of success nowadays, and it is growing very fast, no doubt. And from the Sopno retail chain, I can say that we have established, I think, this kind of network, and through this kind of digital connectivity, we are buying large quantities of vegetables, we are buying a lot of grains, we are buying large quantities of fish, milk, and also meat, more or less everything. So these are the success story what we have now. Mostly, I think, the credibility in the forward linkage, that means in retail chain. And you'll be happy to know that recently government has withdrawn VAT, value-added tax on retail chain. So now a small retailer and the formal retail chain, there's no difference in this kind of tax structure. So now I think the structure retail chains are growing very fast, because if somebody want to buy something in the retail shop and buy from the outside, they need to pay the same price. So this is one of the things government has done, and it's growing. And as you have indicated the question that how digitally helping, it is helping a lot, and most of the young farmers are connected because they have better ability to connect with the digital system, and it is very successful. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Ansari. I'll move on to Ataus Bhai next. Again, a rapid question to you. And I know that you as a company have already been connecting to farmers using digital channels. But beyond just connecting them, are there any digital tools that you're using, including things like we have talked about IoT here, like soil testing, so more different kind of tools they're using? And again, why do you see private and development sector working together to popularize these tools for the farmers, smallholder farmers? Thank you.
Thank you. Actually, as you know that we are also working in groups, the farmer groups, and we have we are trying to introducing some of these techniques as well, especially in Govindaganj area, we have created about 5,000 smallholding farmers, and we are trying to accommodate them with this small tools. We are working with, there is a Waffen lab, we are working with them, and we have also introduced some small tools like for the soil test and also the water test as well. And that 5,000 farmers, we are also trying to get their global gap certificates as well for their producing, So these kinds of things we are doing, but we have to go to the field, with the customers. But in digitally, a digital platform, it is very difficult yet. And actually we don't have that kinds of or develop that kinds of tools as well. But I believe that in like especially these kinds of testing, we can work for that. We can thought of that. Actually, as a seed industry, we are not really involved in this kinds of soil test and what is that, water test system, But our product, there's organizations, our subsidy company, ODSD, they are working on that with the 5,000 farmers, and we are trying to, we are trying to produce safe foods, and we are trying to use, we are doing that. We are using lots of new technologies, especially smart agriculture practices we are doing, okay? And hopefully, next year we'll be able to supply safe foods in our, what is that called, value chain systems, especially with our super shops and everything. So we are setting up a, processing plants for the vegetables, processing vegetables. And now we are also working for, if I consider that, that post-harvest technologies, because there is lots of wastages over there as well. So I won't take, because that much of time, but in the questions what you have asked, we are just in a very small group, like with the 5,000 farmers. This some kits we have with the Waffen lab we have introduced so that we can test our water and that chemical residuals we are tracing, But I hope that if we get successful in this project, then we'll be thinking that how this in the digitally how we can introduce for our local farmers as well. But now at this moment we are giving lots of efforts to especially that post-harvest technology, how we can improve there, and also in packaging, and hopefully if we can set up this our processing unit, then we'll be able to go further end, But at this moment, this is the activities we are doing. But digitally, water and these things, I think that we are thinking of that. But after our piloting, we'll be able to introduce how we can share these things to our farmers. Thank you.
Thank you, Atos Bhai. I really hope the pilot goes well and you scale this up and all of the farmers, all of us benefits from that. Shetal Bhai, I'm going to move to you. For you, I have a little bit of putting you on the spot. We know that climate change is impacting farming, and we have to move towards more sustainable farming practices. How you are seeing that within this, because you engage with a lot of smallholder farmers through your farmer centers, through the different programs that you mentioned. How are you seeing that happen? What has been the biggest challenge, and what do you think is the way forward?
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much. It's very interesting, especially in connections to environment and the market demand. The smallholder farmers are facing the unprecedented challenges that I have mentioned in my earlier questions. But the farmers needs to follow few sustainable practices that's mitigated these types of challenges, like integrated pest management, one of the idea through the regenerative agriculture practices, which is now widely used all over the world. In Bangladesh, is sporadically is the practices, precision agricultures, crop rotations. By using the vermicompost, one of the good things now the smallholder farmers are using. Stewardship, I wanted to take the few minutes here regarding the product stewardship, judicious and responsible use of fertilizer, agrochemicals, and other things. Because the Bangladesh government is providing all the subsidies. The subsidies may not be available in the coming days after the graduations in 2026, so that the most awareness to be required. In other words, if I give an example in Philippines and Thailand, the stewardship is embedded in their agriculture policy and pesticide policy and others. But in Bangladesh, it is still not, that we are going to the government to add these types of activities so that the smallholder farmers will be benefited, they reduce their cost. One of the things that my colleagues from FAO, he also highlighted regarding IoT device, I must highlight it regarding the drone in agriculture. and that we are struggling to introduce the drone in agriculture in the field, but there is no dedicated agriculture policy, drone policy exists in the country. If it is exist in the country, then it surely reduce the cost of the farmers, the water management, the pesticide management, the fertilizer management, the seed management, all things to be here. Even the crop zoning also is there. So this is the beautiful things that needs to be attentions to the government. And of course, as you know, the climate, the vulnerable country we are staying at this moment, the climate resilience varieties, especially drought, flood, and saline tolerant variant needs to be introduced. Yes, our few research organization has been introduced, but it's more promotions to be required. And say, for example, that we have a project we're running in the southern side of the country in collaborations with the government. Now come to the public-private partnerships, one of the projects that we are running. The public-private partnership is a must for sustainable development, for agricultural sustainability, which is also highlighted in Sustainable Development Goal in goal number 17, that we are very much connected with this goal. As you know, that southern belt of the country, especially in the Satkira area, the farmer in that area, they're not in a position to produce crop around the year due to salinity. And in that space, we, and along with our partners, especially Department of Agriculture Extensions, Bangladesh Institute of Nuclear Agriculture, they are the two partners that we have drive together, and we have built in one project to change the total scenario of this area. And this is a very initial project that we have started. Now is 500 farmers at around 7,000 hectares that covered. Now the farmers are gradually increasing their incomes and yield. Earlier, it was the barren land. Now, our interventions, like, say, for example, rainwater harvesting, saline tolerant variant, agronomy knowledge, stewardship, other things that we have provided. Now they are changing their lives. So, private-public partnership is a must. I all the time share one of the African proverb. If you go alone, if you go fast, go alone. If you go far and far, go together. That's our belief. Thank you very much.
No, thank you, Shadul Bhai, and thank you again for briefly explaining. Especially, I was very excited to hear about new saline-tolerant varieties, new ways of precision agriculture, and especially, hopefully in the future, drone technology will also be there. And maybe they will also deliver foods to our homes as well, maybe in future, sometime. Mizan Bhai, coming back to you. I think we talked a lot about mechanization first, and we looked at the challenges, and also I'm glad the adoption is going. On a different angle, do you think mechanization IPs are getting developed in Bangladesh? That means machineries, equipment that are being built for the Bangladesh market with Bangladeshi companies owning the IP. So what do you think the potential of that is, and if Metal is working towards that? Yeah.
Please, again, tell me.
So most of the mechanization tools that we often use in the field, they often get imported with the IP belonging to, but are there Bangladeshi companies like Metal building Bangladeshi-owned IPs and machineries? Yeah.
Yes, we, Metal and other our companies, similar companies, we import at the moment tractors, common harvester, rice transplanter, rotavator, those capital machineries till today we import from foreign, from overseas, right? From India, China, or Vietnam, or other countries. But again, some of machineries, we call it small scale agricultural equipments like thresher, like maize thresher, rice thresher, then chopper, potato harvester, potato digger. So those kinds of small scale of agricultural equipments, we Metal as well as ACI and ACI, Metal, Alim Industries, and some of players, they are producing a small scale of agricultural machineries. You rightly said that not only in harvester, rice transplanter, and tractor, those are capital machineries. Is required about for buying about 16 lakhs, 17 lakhs, and more. And for the small scale of agricultural machineries, there are huge scopes of those machineries, number one. Number two, a few days ago, from Department of Agriculture Marketing is called DAM, under Agriculture Ministry. So they have circulated one subsidy program. Okay, so we, ACI and other players, we have given by this SSCB program to the customers some tractors with trailers. Okay, now they again circulated one SSCB program for processing machineries like oil seed, processing machines, chopper machines, so small machineries. So that capability we have. We can easily easily produce those kinds of small machineries. But again, challenges are there because when we go to produce machineries, then we have to buy raw materials. Again, I can share you one data for VDS and TDS put together. VDS 10% and TDS 5%. Put together, if I buy one parts from Old Dhaka, then I have to give 10% plus 5%, 50% money at the beginning, at the purchasing time. So we requested to government and agencies, bodies that for the production unit, if the VAT, VDS and TDS bill less, then it could be easier for us as well as for the end user. Okay. So you asked me that question, or?
Yeah, no. Thank you, Mr. Bhai. I think this was very exciting. I'm glad that Metal is themselves producing a low-cost machinery that is available to the market.
Yeah.
And I increasingly feel that there is a need for a convening body such as the CARE Advisory Group who takes these things to the government saying that we need to reduce taxes here to make big the market and make it more affordable to the farmers as well.
Yes. Again, one thing I can share you. Now precision agriculture, what my brother said, yes, precision agriculture mechanization to be required as per our country context, as per climate resilient. And we started working on it, especially I'm saying you, as senior director shown us one presentation that the drip irrigation. So we started work on deep irrigation and sprinkler irrigation, as well as we started zero tillage area. You know, in some of area we have in our country, the land which will be under 8 to 9 months underwater is called submerged land. So in those land, always will be loose. So there will be no need to tillage by tractor or by power tiller or so. That's why we targeted those no tillage areas, like some of areas are in south part and some of areas in Haur area, like Kishorganj, Nikli, Mithamon, and some of Upuzela of Hobiganj and Sylhet also. So we are targeting that zero tillage area, zero tillage cedar, as well as, which I said to you, because we know that per kilo rice production, sir, 500 to 1,000 liter water is required. But depend on variety. It is huge water being lost. So that's why sprinkler and drip irrigation, so again, you know, your help, development partners help, NGOs help, as well as government's help to require. As everybody, we are agreed that PPP, public-private partnership, if be strong, then of course, we private sector as well as the end user would be happy.
No, thank you, Mr. Bhai. I think very aptly put.
Thank you.
It's way forward, that's what, and I think also Shoaib Bhai also mentioned, if you want to go far, we have to go together, right?
Thank you.
No, thank you. Dr. Zakunshi, the last question of the panel to you is that you have heard what the different private sector partners are saying. What are you most hopeful about in the agricultural sector from your perspective, listening to all this? Thank you.
Thank you. The most helpful.
Hopeful about by hearing what we have heard.
Okay. And thank you. now we joint efforts with agriculture at the request of the Ministry of Agriculture. We are doing a technical support initiative to draft the strategic perspective called the Bangladeshi Agricultural Perspective 2050. So this means the strategic vision, the policy dialogue is important first. Second, I want to emphasize this, highlight these terminologies. The second is the, first is the policy dialogue, second is the partnership, and then innovation. Innovation in policies, also as well in the technologies. Then the third terminology I want to highlight is the mechanization, digitalization, and climate smart agriculture and precision agriculture. That's the key point for our Bangladesh's agriculture, agri-food systems transformation. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Jekunshi. With that, we are at the end of the panel. We would be taking a quick couple of questions from the room. If there is any, please, let's keep and we have the second here. I think we can go with Eric up first, and then we move to, because Mike is closest.
Thank you. Good afternoon. I think it's almost about evening. So I'm Erika Shubrahalder, working in Abangs, which is a global consulting firm. So I would like to share a little one-liner story. When I was working for Oxfam, I visited Philippines Davao area, hilly area, which was a municipal area. And when we were at the office of the mayor, interestingly, we saw that they have every, vegetable pods production target. So that was really amazing. I mean, at the mayor's office, they had ton-wise target for each area. So I have been very positive since that time, like when Bangladesh will be able to, target like that kind of very micro level planning from strategic to top to bottom approach. So my question is to these esteemed food sector experts that are you visioning with the digitalization and all the private-public partnership approaches or strategic issues that Mr. FAO representative already shared, are we heading towards that even, or are we very far away? So what is our stand in that prospect of having that kind of micro level planning in attaining the sustainable agriculture and smart practices? Thank you.
Thank you. Very interesting question. Cross-comparing global comparables who are ahead of us and where Bangladesh is. Who wants to take this? If any of the panelists would like to. You want to take this, sir?
Thank you very much. I think basically your last question is very appropriate. How far we are? We are very far from this kind of situation because of our livelihood is very much dependent. At least 40-45% of the people's on agriculture, just self-employment and family food, and after if any surplus, then we go for other expenses like this. So each and every farmers are individual. They don't bother about regulation. They don't bother about the control and all this thing. And they're producing what they like to produce, what they consider economically viable for them. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. So probably we're far away from this kind of planning. It will be very difficult to foresee that how soon this can be implemented. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm sorry, we're just on time. I would request you to just take this with the panelists just after we finish. I know that I have, just take this with the panelists after we finish because I've run almost 15 minutes out. But I really want to thank the panelists for a very, very good discussion. Especially, I think we captured a lot of breadth from inputs to forward markets to new technology, innovation, policies, taxes, regulations, and how I think, and most important, I think the overall sentiment was that we have to form partnerships with the government, with the development sector, and this is where I think initiatives, engagements like the CARE advisory group can really, really help. With that, I will request the panelists to stay on stage, and I will hand it over to our master of the ceremony, Shima Appa, to take this forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator and the panelists. Thank you very much for your excellent facilitation. I would like to invite our Chief Impact Officer, Ian Valley, to kindly come forward and present a token of appreciation, a special book, to our distinguished panelists. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Yeah, please, and also Meher Bhai. Yeah. Nami Nam. Thank you, everyone. Now, I kindly request Ian Valley to deliver the closing remarks.
Good afternoon, everybody. So I have an important job to do, which is to appropriately close the session and also not to keep you too much longer, as it has been a long day. So I'm actually based in Kenya, in Nairobi. So it was nice to hear a bit of an African proverb mentioned. So I'm just going to remind us all of that sentiment, just to wrap up the session. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. And I think this afternoon we've heard lots of examples of how much more we can achieve if we work together, and a lot of good references to how the development sector, NGOs such as CARE, can work with the private sector, government and communities to achieve more. So we're very hopeful for our new advisory initiative. I just wanted to flag a couple of examples of our work in the packs on the desks. If you haven't looked in those already, there's a great example of how CARE is working with HSBC on a sunflower and sunflower oil initiative. So I'll just give a little plug. It's a very exciting initiative, particularly because of its relevance to climate adaptation. And of course, I'd just like to say how proud we are to work with Hanoi Foods on the banana supply chain projects as well, which is what I got to see yesterday. So thank you again for introducing me to that project. So as we conclude this pivotal session on cultivating change, advancing smart agriculture and agri-value chain innovations, I want to take a moment to reflect on the depth and relevance of the conversations we've had today. We're witnessing a change in thinking in how we grow, manage, process, optimize values and impact of our agricultural products and processes. Smart agriculture and value chain innovation go beyond technology. They represent a shared vision to build resilient, inclusive, and climate-smart ecosystems that support farmers, boost productivity, reduce losses, and address the urgent environmental challenges facing agriculture today. I think we really have to take note of the impact of climate change on our food security globally, as well as in Bangladesh. And I know that there's increasing interest in food loss and waste globally. I think it will be a key part of the New York Climate Week and UNGA, because we're hearing how much food is wasted post-harvest, pre-harvest, and in the value chain. So I think that is a very important area we could all collaborate on. Let's not forget the importance of this collaboration. Innovation cannot happen in silos. We must continue to bridge the gap between the private sectors, government agencies, farming communities, and NGOs and other service providers. We've got to really build that trust and confidence in that relationship and understand the interdependencies between all of us. I think we need to overcome some of the barriers around language or perception or intent or different cultural approaches. As echoed throughout today's sessions, policy support is critical. Public-private partnerships, financing, and access to affordable financing, mechanization, and digital solutions remain key enablers in scaling these solutions nationally. And we've heard lots of important willingness and interest in those areas today. Governments play a critical role in enabling this work through policy, legislation, while the private sector brings in innovation, investment, and scale. NGOs and service providers bring the last mile gap, ensuring inclusivity and accessibility and cultural sensitivity. As we move forward, let this seminar not be the end of our conversation, but the beginning of a movement to cultivate not just crops, but change, to empower not just farmers, but entire ecosystems, and drive not just growth, but the transformation we all wish to see. Let's take forward the ideas and partnerships and shared commitment we have built today and continue to work collaboratively to cultivate a smarter, more inclusive, and future-ready ecosystem-based agricultural sector. On behalf of the organizing team, CARE, Light Castle, and DevLearn, thank you all for your time and your ideas and your ongoing commitment to Bangladesh and the communities here we all seek to serve. Thank you very much.
Thank you again, Ian. And let's put hands together for Ian. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, this brings us to the close of today's program. On behalf of our organizing team, thank you all for your presence, participation, and valuable contributions. Please enjoy the refreshments that are already served in the outside and continue the great conversation. And we once again wants to commit, we'll go for together. Thank you all.